maps, you can eventually gain momentum and make it into the top 8.
Gaining momentum, that's the key. I was an avid physics student. I don't exactly remember what the formula for momentum was, but I'm pretty sure these players know it,
Yeah, very
and
much.
they're gonna get finishes accordingly to get that momentum up and running. But ladies and gentlemen, our matchups are gonna be ready in just about a minute, and we're gonna start with the first game. The first map of BMOC Day 2 is going to go live. We are gonna start off with Erangel. We've got these teams who are gonna play. Which name or which logo stands out to you, Arka?
Right now, X7 is the one which is standing out for me. It looks a little, aggressive at the moment when you look at that lion. So that is the team which I have to look out for. But yes, Infinity, we have Livecraft Esports, we have Walkouts, No Excuse. I mean, every single name is so, I would like to say that, aggressive in its own. So I really want to see how these teams are going to play around, how much mind game is going to be there in the beginning of the game itself, because ultimately yesterday one thing was very clear to us. If you do the heavy lifting in the first 2-3 maps, then the pressure is off your shoulder, then you can perform and do the best of what you do always.
Absolutely. There are some known teams actually. So you saw Livecraft Esports that was there. You got to see Walkout as well, who is formerly known as Team Tamilas as well. So you know all these players who are coming in. You've seen them in the circuit before. I feel like there can be either of two results. Either there will be a complete abomination, they're gonna dominate the entire lobby, or we're gonna see a lot of tough fights, because you never really know what the young teams have in store for them. But I'm pretty sure the producers have some beautiful, beautiful shots of the map in front of us. I mean, just look at the lush green fields. They are well maintained. Their angle is a high maintenance map.
Absolutely. That is why, people love it the most, There's a lot of bloodshed in the map of Erangel because everybody wants to be as aggressive as possible. It's the default map for any person who plays the game of, BGMI.
Absolutely.
So it's important for this map to be as clean as possible.
Clean,
but let's see how many crates are going to be fallen by the end of the day.
Exactly. I mean, this pretty land of lush green fields, what you're watching right now is going to turn into a warfare. But again, I kind of feel like there's a moment of joy in watching these textures, the stones,
the
shores, the water. Just look at the water, man. I mean, we look at water every single day. I feel like, why isn't water in reality as pretty as Erangel? I mean, do you wanna probably take an entry into another dimension and enter a Erangel map?
Probably love to.
Would you survive though?
A metaverse, probably.
Would you survive against these players?
At the end of the day, the next time the flight path comes again, I'm still alive. So I believe that I'm gonna be happily living there as long as I can every 30 minutes. But all said and done, this flight path is going to reveal which place is going to be the most crowded place, because ultimately yesterday we saw in the map of Erangel, Yasna
buy team extra memory.
That was a bit of an extra memory which up, make sure that one-man squad is a three-man squad, and then try to take the fight to MGs so that they can strike.
A lot of flying, a lot of driving as well, a lot of miles to cover. Probably get yourself some frequent flyers ticket. But anyway, we start off from military base. We move towards Lipovka. Ladies and gentlemen, the first match is live for you guys. I'm already wondering that there's going to be a lot of fights in military base, because these teams, they want to get that early loot. They want to get that early finish and confidence. So I believe that the military base is going to be hotly contested. If the circle moves towards Georgopol or Zarki, there's going to be a lot of trouble for these teams. What do you think, Arka?
Absolutely, I agree on that point. But at the same time, my speculation goes the other way around. I feel there's going to be a lot of, a lot of groups, a lot of people crowding at Milta Power Shelter or probably Yasnaya, because I can see a bigger chunk of these teams have jumped off pretty close to the side of Shelter. So let's see where they are all headed. But at this point of time, the northern side of the map, like yesterday, towards 70 and shooting range was not at all taken by anybody. So I really want to see if somebody wants to fly until there, take advantage of that, element of doubt that nobody is going to be there. So they go, take advantage of it, get the right kind of loot, and then come back. But the circle, ladies and gentlemen, has a different story to say, as it has taken a southern shift. So those people who are wondering to go to the main island can actually, turn around.
Maybe there's also an element of risk. I mean, you try and cross the bridge. There's fights already. Kaushik, my boy.
Absolutely. Now, the most important thing for us to see over here is there's already a death crate fallen. So somebody has gone out from the Geeks Gods. There's one guy already fallen off. And the most important thing, these early skirmishes always prove to us that, all these teams are looking for finish points more than placement points.
Absolutely, and it's also because of the fact that they don't know each other that much. I mean, for sure, they might have scrimmed against each other, but this scrimming doesn't really give you the entire picture, where you're dropping, how you're playing, and every single nooks and crannies. So these teams who kind of drop in one particular location, they drop in their comfort zones, they want to play from their comfort zone itself, and suddenly they realize there's somebody else in that compound. But so far, I feel like the fight has sort of died down, Arka. Both these teams are sort of scanning each other, trying to understand what their mentality is. Do they commit for the fight? Oh my god, there's another knock. Look at the kill feed.
Absolutely, but the most important thing for me right now is to what's happening on the screen. Geek Gods are not moving away from their position. They're holding the defensive, positions. They do not want to, go make mistakes and lose more players at this point of time. Whereas MG Esports on the other side, they're trying to taunt the gods. They're trying to bring them out of the burrow which they're hiding right now. Try to take them down as early as possible. As we can see, one finish has already gone in the name of MG Esports, and the other one has gone into Liftcraft. So two teams have already started off aggressive.
They've started off aggressive, and I can see Kaushik and his contemporary already pushing up. Here's spotted Shanks. The spray comes through, but it doesn't connect. Goes behind the shack to kind of find himself some sort of hot cover. But will Kaushik go for the fight? That is the question. You can see that Kaushik is already... I mean, this was obviously the highlight. Kaushik is on our screens right now. He's still chasing Shanks hot on his tails. But it's very interesting to find that MG Esports are so confident. They've only got 2 players. It's not like a 1v4 for Shanks on the other side. It's kind of like a 1v2. So they're pretty confident that even with half their strength, they can chase a guy down and they can finish him completely. No mercy being shown whatsoever. I want to understand what is the escape strategy for Greek Gods from this point, because it seems like Shanks has kind of found himself in a position where he can't escape from, Marka.
The only backup plan, the only plan for Geek Gods is right now group up, make sure that 1-man squad is a 3-man squad, and then try to take the fight to MGs so that they can strike fear or probably put 1 or 2 bodies down, and ultimately that's the only way. But on the other side, we're able to see over here, probably towards the side of this is Novo for sure. So towards the side of Novo, there are 2 teams fighting it out. We have the Dark on one side, and on the other side, we had another team. I mean, both of them were equally distributed in each, in the corners of the Novo. So I really want to see how they're going to distribute themselves, who's going to be taking that off angle to give that initial knocks. But yeah, as I said, Darks is one team who was sticking together. There's one person to the complete eastern side of the map. Probably is a flanker who wants to come around and try to take them down. The same goes to the team of YTS. There's one person on the high grounds who's trying to be the, eyes for these people. Oh, wow. What a beautiful spray coming in from the side of Ani. I mean, I really love the way he maintained his crosshair to take all the shots into the head of Blade.
Yeah. Team YTS Esports looking really strong right from the start, but of course the revive is going to come back.
Oh no.
For Team SAW though, it is going to be a little difficult because they don't really have a plan to fight against them. I feel like YTS, they are well distributed, just like you mentioned. They've got that topographical advantage as well. On the other side, poor Shanks, he's going to get completely wiped off the floor. Great start for Team MG, to be honest. MG Esports looking very confident, and that is something which I always say. Being confident right from the start kind of settles you in, kind of gives you that supremacy. I would also kind of say that it kind of builds up that god complex where you feel like you're invincible, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. It can result to poor results. It can also help you kind of boost your performance as well, but it kind of depends on how they react to it. But for Greek Gods, I kind of feel pity because it's not really the best of starts for them.
I mean, I would say indeed for the facts what you spoke about Team MG, but for the Gods rather, I think they were trying to experiment something else. They were just, having 2 players somewhere far away and the other 2 players were a bit far away. MG was also playing the same kind of strategies. So both the teams were thinking the same way. It's just that MG had their assaulter going in, havoc in the beginning itself. So that was the most important thing which worked out for the side of Team MGs. But I can see one other team, Team INF on the southern side of the military base. They are waiting out for somebody, and now MGs are already searching out for the next man. Let's see how this fight is going to end out. It's going to be an AK fight coming in. 2-man squad rushing in as quickly as possible.
1 man down.
Gets taken down.
2 men down.
2 men has got taken down. A beautiful spray coming in from the side of Spicy. He's going to heal himself. 2 seconds is more than enough where he can put the crosshair against Dinesh at this point of time. Dinesh with the...
In the end,
it's all about the priority, you know. He put two people down. He could have made it into finish points, and then he would have, you know, tried to play for placement points. But rather, he wanted to heal himself, welcome the other guy with lead. But ultimately, that costed the whole team,
Yeah.
you know, two valuable finish points.
I think he was going for a hero play, which sometimes, yeah, makes sense. He got a double knock for himself. Another guy was coming in. It kind of made sense that he healed up. But next up, we're moving for Dark Family versus YTS. Now, you can see that YTS is seemingly disinterested in taking this fight so far. But for Dark Family, they have to clear out the initial burst of enemies that they are in front of them. Of course, the circle is still on Novo, so they don't really necessarily take this fight. They can just hold themselves, hold some compounds for themselves. But we all know that eventually the circle is going to shift north or towards military base at least. So they still got to push up. They still got to clear out the herd first, and that is exactly what Blade is trying to do.
I hope that, you know, Blade actually understands the intensity of this fight, because he's the one leading the attack for the team. In case one small mistake comes in from his side, at one point of time, it really thought that he had done the damage against the side of Ani. The grenade just exploded outside the window, and that has struck fear. And we can see that Team YTS is running back, falling back at this point of time, regrouping far away. And I think that's a very good strategy. You know, when things are not working out in your favor, when you're trying to attack, fall back, re-strategize, and then go in and attack at your enemies.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they are going to take pot shots against each other. There is not a lot of action happening in the rest of the map itself. It's the only two sides who are engaging in battle so far. Artilleries being exchanged. I've always wondered how it feels like throwing a grenade, you know, like when you hold that grenade in your hand and the timer is on, you kind of know that there is an element of risk where you can blow yourself up and reduce yourself to bits and pieces. But then I'm not really sure if I want to do